Well, I just received my Pfaff 463 today, well, a couple days ago. And the outside appearance of this machine doesn't look too bad. But when we get down to the nitty-gritty of it, down here, just by the looks of all these components, it is going to have to be a complete disassemble and a reassemble of these components because of just by the condition that they are. Just a simple rinse with some cleaning fluid is not going to cut it. It is going to have to be a complete disassemble. But no fear, we have the book to do it. I haven't touched it yet, this machine, except, let me spin this around, except I took off this gearbox panel, and I'll take it off again so we can see inside of it. But just by the ooze and the goos oozing out of all the bearing supports, this machine has never really been serviced. And I think it was set up on an industrial thing because it has this cam right here. And when I spin the wheel, you can see it does that. And then there's a support right here, which I don't know what it goes to. The regular sewing machine just has these two shafts. So I don't know, so that had to go to the cam. It had to probably do something with some kind of a zigzag type of motion, that this machine was hooked to a zigzag embroidery board, and but they did a lot of modifications to these machines. And then if you look on the underside of your tension arm, so this thing is pretty gummy. Okay, so let's get to inside there. Okay, got the cover off, and like I say, I already had this off already, just do an initial check, and the sponge that goes in here was deteriorated. It ended up like being this mushy stuff. This whole thing was encaked with deteriorated sponges. You're supposed to change them out once a year. But we're not going to put a sponge back in this thing. And I'm already going to have to replace these tubes. They're already really dry. I wouldn't be surprised if they're cracked. This wheel has a cracks in it. There's cracked there. And it's cracked there. So I'm going to have to order a new one. There's a place in California that makes gears. I might send this part to them and see if they can't make that a mechanical gear. Because what I'm going to do with this right here is that I'm going to put a magnet right about here, because that sponge was supposed to collect all the metal filings, and then there was a little cutout in the sponge right here for this gear right here to pick up oil and lube itself. So if I can make that metal, put a magnet right here, then I don't have to worry about with that idiotic sponge thing. Naturally, I'm going to have to order a new gasket. I'm going to order a new tubes. Anything that's plastic or tubes on this machine, I'm going to order. And those of you who are familiar with these machines are already ordered a oil reservoir for it. So when we get to that part, but the general condition in here isn't all that bad. Since it was enclosed, but all that black stuff you see is the deteriorated sponge. I'm still curious about this cam though. But anyway, that's the general appearance of it here. Okay. So let's open up some more covers and see what we got. These screws are pretty worn, so they must have took this cover on and off to maintain this up here. But we will find out. The bottom area sure didn't look good. Holy crap. I never took this off before. And what do we have in here? Well, there we have it. Yeah, it's going to have to be completely disassembled. There's no way around it. Just cleaning these areas is not going to be good enough. And here's the cover. Actually, that doesn't look too bad. Yepper. Okay, so this is just a general inspection of it. And when I do disassemble it, I will have this camera on a tripod to where it's not so wavy. Now, you're not supposed to use diesel or any gasoline to clean these things because of these self-sealed bearings. Well, I'm going to have to take those bearings apart to see how self-sealed they are, to see if there's any grease left in there. If I could repack them, then I'll do that. But I mean, even though for how cruddy this machine is, it's still, I mean, it's really smooth. And it's not clanking anywhere. I really don't want to run it too much because there's no oil in it, but you can tell Okay. One more cover to go. Then the inspection's done. Then we'll start the disassembly. Like I said, I never took this cover off yet either, so we don't know what we got. Uh-oh. I think I lost my little spring already. I think I heard it hit the floor. But let's see what we got in here. Holy crap. Yepper. It is going to be... This is going to be a fun project. Because this is going to look brand new when I get done with it. See if I can't get that light down in there, see what kind of condition that reservoir is in. Because I think that's it right behind that belt. So anyway, that's the general look of it. Oh crap, we got one more panel to take off. Okay, here we go. Well, it looks just like the rest of the compartments. Let me get the camera off the pod. Okay, and this is what it looks like here. I'm doing this left-handed, I'm right-handed. So you can see the general condition of the bearings there. Yepper. I don't know where this machine was at. I don't think it was a private owner, I tell you that right now. And whatever factory had this thing, they didn't have a maintenance person, male or female, maintaining these things. Okay, well that's the general inspection. Okay, here we go. I already got the, we'll move the needle. I gotta get a different chair, this thing squeaks too bad. Well, that needle bar is nice and tight, it doesn't wiggle in there. So that's not worn, that's a good sign. Okay. Take off the dog feet. Okay. Old aircraft mechanic trick. Put the screws back in the holes. That way you won't lose them. try to keep screws and parts together. I've seen people use muffin pans. I've seen people use any kind of gadget you could think of. But somehow, some way, one or two screws always attempt to get away. So to keep the little rugrats from running away, you just put them right back in the hole, and that way you won't lose them. And there's your dog. Here's your feed dog. We'll put that in the pile. Okay. I wish I had a manual on how to take it apart, but we're just going to see a screw. If we could loosen it, we'll loosen it. Here we go. Okay. It probably will be easier to see. Let's see here. What's what? Are we still in here yet? Yeah, let me turn this here. Let me zoom out a little bit. There we go. Looks like I could remove this. Okay, that's a start. And then remove this, and this whole thing should come off that way. Oh, looky there. Keep the screws in the part. Okay. So this, okay, and this should come apart. Nice tight bearings. And it looks good underneath these bearings. There's no rust or nothing, which is a good sign. The needles need to be repacked. There you go. See, the other reason I'm filming this too, so I know how to put the damn thing back together. Okay. Now, oh, let's see what else can we take apart. Let's try this thing right here. This should come apart. But I do have a manual on how to retime everything. So if we could get it back together, and I can make the needle go up and down and make the gib hook spin, then we got half the battle beat. Okay. Let's see here. Now I want to remove this shaft, so I'm going to have to disconnect this back here. Okay. I'll use that. Okay. What was that? put this all together. Okay, cool. And that. Okay, we'll put get that on there. In there. Oh, there we go. I'll just put that part in there. Okay. Now, okay, let's see here. Anything else through there? Let's put this one in first. What was it? Okay. Okay. So we got this one on. Okay. Oops. There's another one. Okay. Okay. All the same size. Okay. That's good. Okay, cut. One. Okay. Slide this back. Oh, okay. Here's that. Okay, here's that. This back here. Okay. And then you got the bearings in there. That we're gonna clean out. Was that in there? Just one. There's that one right there. Okay. Okay, bottom. That's what was good. Okay. Yeah, that's it. Come on. That's it. Come on. That's good. Sounds good. There we go. I got it. Okay. There's a C-clamp right there that was holding this on. Okay, take this off. I'm gonna have to polish that up.